Hello, everybody, and shalom. Shalom to everybody. Shalom to everybody. My name is Nehemiah Israel now. That's my name, though. That is the name I put was Yahweh's power. That's the name I put. My name is Nehemiah Israel. And today I'm going to talk about how we should treat our brothers and sisters according to the Torah. I'm talking about that because that is important that we treat one another with respect. But the first thing we're going to do is go to what the Bible says about how we should treat one another. So we'll be going to the scriptures though. We'll let you know where I'm going. Let's see the first scripture we should go to. So the first place we can go to is Leviticus, or the Hebrew word, Rakirah, chapter 19. So we do Leviticus 19, and we start at verse 11. As we go over how we should treat one another. And it reads, do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another, and do not swear falsely by my name, and so profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yah. Do not oppress your neighbor or rob him. The wages of him who is hiding is not to remain with you all night until morning. Do not curse the dead or put a stumbling block before the blind, but fear your Elohim. I am Yah. Do no unrighteousness in right rule. Do not be partial to the poor or favor the face of the great, but rightly rule your neighbor in righteousness. Do not go slandering among your people. Do not stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yah. Do not hate your brother in your heart. Reprove your neighbor for certain, and bear no sin because of him. Do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yah. Hallelujah. So as you see right here, the start is telling us right here how we should treat one another. Do not steal, do not lie, and do not deceive one. thing is, we shouldn't be stealing from anybody because, as we know from Exodus 20, it said, you are not stealing. I mean, understand that there are people who still have that they're not everybody stealing for the right reasons. Some may steal because they feel like they have to. They may be in a situation they feel like they don't have a choice but to steal in order to make it. But what we should do as people now, we should ask for help though if we need it. Yes, we should definitely ask for help though. And want what's best for one another. We shouldn't be stealing in line. We shouldn't be being deceived now. If we know if we have enough for ourselves now, we know we have something. And we shouldn't be being deceived and acting as if we don't have nothing. We know we do. Most High was going to punish us if we do that. We were being deceiving basically by taking advantage of that person, of that kindness of that person. And then we wonder when people turn out to be a certain way. You wonder why you have people that become a certain way, become bitter and hate that person and hate people. Begin to have a hatred for people. That's the reason right there. Now don't get me wrong now. You need to have self-esteem now. You need to have some self-esteem now. And have what's important, the most High, so that we don't have hatred in our heart. Because it tells you do not hate your brother in your heart. Prove your neighbor for certain and bear no sin because of him. So basically, if you love your brother like you say you're gonna want what's best for him. If you rebuke him now, if he committed a sin now, you have the right to rebuke him now. Now, what you should not be doing, you should not be go around slandering that person's name, just talking about that person in a negative way. That's not what we should be doing. That's not showing that we love our brothers and sisters when we do. To me, it doesn't matter if it's true or false. What you're saying about the person, you should do it. You shouldn't be talking about that person in a negative way. Now, what if we have an issue with one another? What does the Bible tells us we're supposed to do? Well, let's go as we go to Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, I believe I know what chapter. Look, make sure I get the right place. Oh, all right, let me look at it. I'm gonna look it up fast. Oh, okay, yeah, I had the right chip. Okay, well, yeah, I am using a different version. So the version I'm using is the scriptures version. So if we go to Proverbs 29, and excuse me, Proverbs 25, or Mishnah, which is the Hebrew one, Mishnah 25 in verse 9, where it says, plead your cause with your neighbor himself, and do not disclose the secret of another, lest he who hears it puts you to shame, in your evil report turn not back. Hallelujah. So this is saying right here that if you have an issue with a person now, you want to go to them, not spreading it around and telling it to other people now, but you're not gonna go to that person. That's being not being righteous stuff. And how you shown love to that person if you do it now. The purpose of this Bible though is for us to be righteous though. Do things in righteousness though. So as we may have people that we have issue with though. We should go to them. What if we go to them now, but yet they don't want, they still refuse to be. So what do we do then? What I for me, that I think that you should just, that's something you should take that to the Most High Yah. Let Most High Yah deal with this situation. And to be for the just distance yourself from that person. If that person has wronged you and have not had no desires to come back and make things right. But here's the problem with us as a people now. We go to other, we will tell other people about things that a person may do. That's not that's not what this is telling us to do, according to Proverbs 25 and 9. And verse 10 tells you, lest he who hears it puts you to shame, and your evil report turn not back. This is how this is what can cause hatred upon our brothers and sisters when we do these things. And the Most High Yah does not want it. He wants us to love one another, but most importantly, love Him, keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments. You can't be keeping Yah's laws. You can't just say you keep all the other laws, but but, you can't even treat one another right now. Just can't do it. For those that are weak and they don't want to make things right, Just let the Most High Yah deal with it. Deal them in that deal. Let Yah handle that situation. Not taking vengeance like I have read in Leviticus 19. Yeah, that's what we that's isn't that what we do as a people now? Not everybody now, but the majority now. But you will expect the majority. We feel like we're wrong. We think that's our mindset now. And then also when we read verse 17 in Proverbs 25 in Proverbs Mishnah 25, where it says, make your foot rare in your neighbor's house, lest he get enough of you and hate you. So keep in mind now, you gotta make sure we're not always in a person's space though, because we need to make sure we give one another some space. I'm not saying you not always being in their house though, because if you just always in their house, eventually they're gonna tell you go home now. They're gonna get tired of you now, because they're gonna want some privacy. So yeah, this is wisdom in this stuff, telling us that do not always be in a person's house. It ain't saying you did not ever be in a person's house, because yeah, of course, if you have a good relationship with somebody, you are gonna want to go visit them sometime. That's okay sometimes. That too much of it, that becomes a problem. They be, they begin to get sick of you, and they want their privacy. If you do too much. So also in verse 18 of this same chapter in book, a man bearing false witness against his neighbor is like a club and a sword and a sharp arrow. So this is right here is showing you how serious it is to when you're being when you're lying to one another, being deceiving. And not everybody see how that a lie can be really serious. A lie can be as serious as causing a person, causing it possibly cause death. That's how serious a lie can be. Now, even if it's not that, though, it still isn't right to lie. It still is against the law, according to the Bible, to lie. And this is really saying for those that are being presumptuous now, because can sometimes you can make a mistake. well, why would it say? But in this case, though, would it be false witness though? If it was a mistake. If it wasn't presumptuous, though, more than likely, if that person has the has has some level of humility, they are gonna they're gonna be willing to admit that they're wrong. So verse 19, verse 19 it says, trust in a treacherous man in time of distress is like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint. Now, let's keep in mind though about this topic. This topic don't mean you go around deep you go around just dealing with the people. Because when basically two can't walk together, except they agree, which is in the Bible as well. It's some anger stuff. I believe chapter 3. I believe that's the exact chapter. You can definitely read it for yourself. You don't, because you don't know that's there. So keep in mind now that on this topic don't mean that you go around just deal with anybody. That's not what that means. But it does mean that you do things in righteousness. That you are supposed to treat people with respect. The person is wicked, you can don't deal with them. Don't mean you just go around just slandering them, or you just sit up cursing at them or whatever the case may be. That's not what y'all is requiring for us to do. That's not what we're supposed to do. Distance yourself away from that person. That person is wicked. But you don't mistreat them. In verse 20, one who takes away a garment in cold weather is like vinegar on soap, and a singer of songs on an evil heart. Mm. Yeah, this was powerful. Yeah. So once again, just showing that we showing the love for one another. When we do these things, we're not showing love now. And I know I'm reading the Scriptures version now. Probably the original version that we normally read would be the King James version. The verse 21, where it says, if your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you are heaping coals of fire on his head, and Yah rewards you. So for there, it's telling me if your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. But it's just going to show you, don't it? the Most High Yah is telling you to feed that person, even if that person is weak. You don't just starve and that's going to show that you have some love for that person. And not to hopefully not to try to confuse nobody. I'm not saying you just go around, you just deal with it. Right after you feed them, you just go around and deal with them. You have to deal with them daily. No, not saying that at all. He is telling you that you should make sure if he's hungry, you give him bread to eat. If he's thirsty, you give him water to drink. Tell him not you ain't got no right to starve here. Because then if we do that, how are we any better than our enemy? It tells you that Yah rewards you in verse 22. So in verse 23, it says, the north wind brings rain, and a secret tongue in an enraged face. It is better to dwell in a corner of a roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. It's saying that because we basically definitely saying no because knowing that you have a person like that, and know it's a woman like that. And it's not necessarily always a woman now. This is just basically that this I guess this will be considered an example that of the Most High Yah's word. How we deal with people. He is telling us we still need to have some wisdom when dealing with one another. This we are definitely supposed to treat one another right, but for those that are weak, don't does not mean that we supposed to put up with we supposed to allow that person in our lives to harm us in any way. If we sit there and do that, we would be foolish to be dealing with a wicked person. Because then Yah will punish us if we continue to deal with that person like that. Continue to deal with that person. Now, if that person is in need, you should definitely help them now, because that would be the righteous thing to do. You shouldn't have that level of hatred. You should not have that hatred and to sit there and not help that person if they are in need. So let's go in verse 25 where it says, like cold water to a parched throat is good news for a distant land. A righteous man who gives way before the wicked is like a mud muddy spring in a ruined fountain. It is not good to eat much honey. It is esteemed to seek one's own esteem. A, a man who has no control over his spirit is like a broken down city without a wall. Hallelujah. So this right here is wisdom to this. It was basically telling us how we should deal with wicked people. Some of these verses. Basically giving these examples that show that Most High Yah doesn't want us to deal with wicked people. But also not mistreating the meat, rather be our own or the other nation. Let's keep that in mind. That just because it is a buck of another nation doesn't mean we should mistreat. Although our focus should mainly be our own people. And at this point, that should be our main focus in serving Yah and trying to get our people together in righteousness. It should be our main focus right now. The other nation, that will be later. That's something we should focus on later. So when we get ourselves together in the other nation. So if you have more scriptures to go to, definitely can open it up now. I know it's a big problem with our people is we can forgive other nations now. Other nations can do us wrong. But our own, we can't seem to forgive our own. That is a huge problem. And for me, the New Testament, a lot of it is garbage, to be honest. There's some things in the New Testament that is true, but a lot of it is garbage. Because it contradicts the Torah. All right, so we go to Proverbs chapter 16. Let's see, verse start. guess we can start at verse 27. So, and it reads, a man of wickedness plots evil, and on his lips it is like a burning fire. So this word Beliyaal, that's the, when you look it up now, it means worthless or wicked. That's what that means. Worthless or wicked. Which is that's how it's in my version. In the KJV version, probably be Belial, something like that. In the KJV version. In verse 28, it says, a perverse man sends for strife, and a whisperer separates intimate friends. Oh, when you have a whisper, what does that mean? Well, actually, let's go start with the perverse sin or strife. Basically, yes, again, on the translation, it's a different translation where it says a dishonest man spread strife, and a whisperer separate close friends. So dishonest though in this case, so basically wicked. Meaning whisperer separates intimate friends. So like once again now, we should not be we should not be um being a talebearer in any way. Which is not be revealing secrets though to another. Because then it is going to separate people. People are not going to want to deal with you now if you do that. And they can bring hatred now, which is what the Most High God does not want. He wants us to love one another. That's definitely the big problem now. We need to get back to the Most High God's law and treat one another. But most importantly, treating Most High God right, keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments. The main thing about us, though, if we love the Most High God, like we say we do, we will love another. And also, we gotta love ourselves too, because that's gonna be difficult to love someone else now and treat somebody else right if you can't treat yourself. I just don't see that being impossible, Rick. I don't see that possible. In verse 29, it says, a ruthless man entices his neighbor and leads him in a way that is not good. So once again, we got these examples of when you have the person who was just weak. You know, person who don't mean you no good. Why we need to separate ourselves from those. but not only our sake, but yeah, for our sake though. Definitely for our sake though. If we want to get right with the Most High, yeah. So verse 30, winking, winking with his eye to plot perverse, moving his lips, he shall bring about evil. Gray hair is a crown of adornment. It is found in a way of righteousness. He who is patient is better than the mighty, and he who rules over his spirit than he who takes a city. So with this one now, we gotta have some level of patience now with one another. Now. If you don't have no patience, I really don't see you gonna treat one another, treat that person with the respect. Now. If you don't have no patience, that's not gonna be easy to see you treat a person and with respect now, if you don't have no patience. Now with this, with us having patience does not mean we deal with wickedness. We just sit there in the midst of wickedness. And that person they had no no plans on changing and doing righteousness. In verse 33, the lot is cast into the lap, but every decision by it is from Yah. Hallelujah. So as we keep going, it's definitely important that we have patience with one another. Because that shows that when we have patience with one another, that shows we have the love with one another. Even with that, if a person, even that person has done something, may have done something to offend you now. If that person is want to make things right, you should I think I say you should definitely not have the issue to want to deal with them again. I know things may not be the same now, and it goes back to not bearing a grudge against the children of your people. Because Mosiah tells us not to bear a grudge against one another. It doesn't matter what the case may be. It says don't bear a grudge. Don't mean you gotta deal with that person. That's not what that means, but it does mean not if you're not supposed to hold something against them. Normally, when we think of a grudge, normally has some level of hatred toward that person. Normally, maybe it's not exactly everybody though, but they do have some level of anger that have be holding a grudge. And also when we go to chapter 17 of Proverbs, let's see. Good stuff. I can start at verse 9. And it reads, he who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. And so we know what this means now. And those who are reading this, hopefully we don't misunderstand what this is saying. It's not telling us not to rebuke one another. That's not what that's saying. It's not saying that at all. But you definitely should not be constantly you should not be a person constantly repeating repeating the same repeating the matter that you constantly discuss with the person. Because then what are you trying to do? And maybe I don't have the full understanding on this one. I do know that that person is gonna get tired if you keep telling them about this about over and over again. About rather if it's something they have done, over and over. Something you didn't like them, they're gonna get tired of this. Now this doesn't mean you don't repeat one. That's not what this means. I'm not really sure the best way to explain he who covers a transgression seek love. I'm not really sure how to explain it. But if we go to verse 10, it says, reproof enters deeper into a wise man than 100 strikes on a fool. An evil one seeks only rebellion, so a cruel messenger is sent against him. Like a bereaved bear, meet a man rather than a fallen in his fool. Rather than a fool in his folly. Right? So, verse 13, where it says, whoever rewards evil for good, evil does not leave his house. This one is a really serious thing. What this one means is if a person is doing good by you down, but then you reward them for you give them as a reward evil, both sides telling you that evil is not gonna leave your house. Because that's not showing you love that person. You are taking advantage of that person's kindness stuff. And this can also cause some cause hatred though between those individuals. But this is what it's saying what's going to happen now if you want to reward evil for good. A person who's doing good by you, but as a reward, you're going to do evil to them. Yeah? This one is serious stuff. So basically, we definitely need to treat one another with respect. That's something that's something we need. We definitely need to we have them like back then. Those things are different now. Not I feel like people have respect for one another is kind of rare. And it's a shame, unfortunately. So verse 14, the beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore, stop fighting before it breaks out. He who declares the wicked right, or it makes this right here says the wrong right, and he who condemns the righteous, both of them are an abomination to Yah. So we going just go back to Yah wanting us to be righteous. And this one was really good. We said, well, not the beginning of strife is like releasing one, not that part, but really, therefore, stop fighting before it breaks out. Because we need to really tell us we need to love one another. We got as people get to the point where we can stop fighting with one another. Then we know not everybody's gonna be right. Yeah, that's just a fact. It will be it would be I wish that everybody would be right though. I hope for those that are watching this, hopefully they will have a change of heart for those that are wicked. So yeah, this is in verse 15 where it says, "He who declares the wrong right and he who condemns the righteous, both of them are an abomination to him." Most say, "Yeah, I ain't gonna be pleased with that." No. You know, a person is wicked, but then you're saying that person is righteous. That's just most say, yeah, it's telling us and he's not pleased with it. This is the abomination. Yeah, it's telling them not to deal with wicked people. That's then what is is then if we do that, then most High Yah is gonna punish us. And more than likely we're gonna become wicked. If we just continue to deal with that person who's being wicked. and he who condemns the righteous self, both in their own abomination to you. So yeah, it's telling us he wants things he wants things to be in righteousness. So he wants us to do righteousness. So that don't mean just because the person is wicked, you have the right to just you have the right to speak to them in any manner, curse at them or whatever the case may be. That ain't right either. That's something you need to let Yah deal with that situation. To continue in verse 16, where it says, why is this a price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom when there is no harm? Why would you have to even buy wisdom? That's not something you should be buying. That's something you should want to have, and you should want to want other people to have. This as this right here me making this video is not for me to be making money off of people by by reading the Most High Yah's work. That's not the purpose of this. It would be wrong of me to do that if my purpose of making this video is to require people to give me money for for Yah's information. That's not being righteous. That would make me a fool to want to try to buy wisdom, and then try to make people pay to get wisdom. That ain't that is not that's you be considered a fool. It's not righteous to do. Verse 17, where it says, a friend loved at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So when we think of a friend loved at all times. If a person is really a true friend, you're gonna love you regardless of what the whatever situation you may go through, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter what the case may be. A true friend ain't gonna sit up and love you for money now. Love you because they can get something out of you or whatever the case may be. That's not a friend. If I really, if you really know what a friend is, if a person they really want to be your friend, more than likely they're gonna want to make sure you are okay and try to be a help to you. They try to have that, that love and support of you. That's a friend right there. They're gonna want what's best for you. In this case, we're talking about the Most High Yah. He's gonna want you to serve. He's gonna try to be there for you though, and try to help lift you up, not tear you down. And what a friend is, a friend ain't gonna just be thinking about themselves. That's not a friend. You just selfish though. I always expect that person to do for them though. They ain't no friend. Verse 18. A man lacking heart shakes hands in a pledge. He becomes a guarantor for his friend. What no, no grantor for his friend. Hmm. So what does this one mean? I might have to do maybe I might have to do some research on this one from verse 18. So in verse 19, where it says, he who loves transgression loves strife. He who exalts his door seeks destruction. So it's right here telling us you love transgression, you love strife. Because once again, now, if you over here dealing with that a wicked person, then because I'm like, you're a person that loves transgression, you love strife. And something is not that's just wicked to do that. But then there are people, unfortunately, there are people who love transgression. That's just unfortunate. So verse 20, where it says, he who has a crooked heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. So if you don't if your heart is crooked, you're not gonna find no good now. Because what kind of heart you gonna have? More likely, I don't see no good. I see evil heart. That's the you're not gonna it ain't gonna be up to not your heart's not gonna be up to no good. What you're thinking to do. And he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. And that's true because we have to be careful on what we say. It's so true. I could go on to this one now. Let's see. Yeah, I can keep going now. Oh, 21. Just finish the rest of the verse. In verse 21, he who brings forth a fool has sorrow for him, and the father of a fool has no joy. This is true. As this right here is talking about a, a righteous father. That's what this is saying. No, as we think of a father now, he is the leader now. he's gonna want he's gonna give the children discipline and wisdom and instruction. Give it instruction. He's gonna want us to be wise, because a a wise son makes a father glad. It even says that. If I can find the exact place, okay. See where that is exactly. Now, and also let's see, what does it say about foolish son? I remember foolish son is what is it? Calamity to, I can't remember exact words, with or the, what is it? Foolish son despises mother. I'm trying to remember exact. I'm not sure. I had to look at that up. In verse 22, where it says, "A rejoicing heart causes good healing, but a stricken spirit dries the bones. One who is wrong accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the path the right road." Oh, we know, as if you and those who understand and read the Torah, or don't who actually know it would be it's wrong to accept the bribe to be taken in the first place. When we think of bribe, what does that mean? Normally, each person is normally when you think of bribes, they normally is money down for probably most people, but not all the time. They can bribe you in other ways. That they saying that if you do this wicked thing, then I'm gonna give you this stuff. It ain't don't have to always be money. They may say I'll give you my car down, or I'll give you I'll give you more food. I'll do this and that, whatever the case may be. It still ain't right. That's not right. It is, but once again, if you're wicked, well, you are gonna do that though. You are gonna accept the bribe. If you're righteous, you're not. In verse 24, it says, "Wisdom is before the face of the understanding one, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth." Oh, okay. So, yeah. Okay, so now we get into a foolish son is a grief to his father and bitterness to her who bore him. Okay, that must be what I was talking about. Look, so yeah, this is what it's saying about a foolish son. It's a grief to his mom and bitterness to her boy, the mother, of course. That's who was talking. Verse 26, it says, "It is also not good to punish the righteous one, to strike noble ones for straightness. He who has knowledge spares his word, And a man of understanding is cool of spirit. Even a fool keeping silent is regarded as wise, as understanding when he closes his lips. Hallelujah. It is something about when you are not speaking too much. Because you are considered a fool if you just always running your mouth and you're not a person who listens now. Because the Ecclesiastes tell you that it is a time to speak and a time to be silent. This in Ecclesiastes. Let's see. Which chapter is that? Is it 3? Or is it? Yeah, I think it's 3. I think it's chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes. Or the Hebrew word for help. Yes, so to treating one another with respect. Now, if we go back to Leviticus 19 now, because now that I'm thinking about it, here's something I'm missing. Let me forget. That we need to understand. All right, so Leviticus 19 in verse 32. It says, rise up before the gray head, and you shall favor the face of an old man, and shall fear your Elohim. I am Yah. Hallelujah. So this is telling you that rise up before the gray head. So rise to your elders. That's showing respect to your elders now. And that's something the young people need to get back to, respecting their elders now, and their parents now. That's something that is the command. That is you that is not a choice, that was a command. Now, yes, if you don't choice you can have, if you refuse, then it's gonna be consequences. Now, that's the choice. Now, we deaf. That's the consequences if you think you have a choice. All right, so we go to Leviticus 20. I'm gonna read only. There's gonna be only one verse for this one. In verse 9, it says, "For everyone who curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. He has cursed his father or his mother. His blood is on him." Hallelujah. So once again, making sure we have Because the Bible tells us to respect the father and the mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the land. In Exodus 20, respect, honor is the same thing. So who knows what this means when it says he curses his father or his mother? Who knows what that means? When you curse them, you're basically wishing something, wishing ill against your parents. In the most High doesn't want it. That is a death penalty when you do it. But yeah, I could go on and on about the Bible talks about a spouse to deal with one another. This is important because this also in the Bible how it tells how a man should not be dealing with his wife treacherous. It's the same for the woman. Not mistreating the man. This go showing you most Saint John. He shows no partiality. Wickedness is wickedness. It don't matter who it is that's doing it. You can rebuke one another because that's what the Most High God requires of you. That you do, in all means, need to be respectful. Rather old or young, no matter what the age is. Let's see. Scripture gonna go to next. Yeah, let's go to Exodus 20 and 12, where it said about respecting the family. Yeah, let's just go. In Exodus 20 and verse 12, it says, respect your father and your mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the and this it says upon the soil which Yah your Elohim is giving. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear false witness against your neighbor, you do not cover your neighbor's house, you do not cover your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. Yeah. But it's going back to just showing that how we should treat one another. You better respect your parents though. Otherwise you are gonna suffer the consequences if you don't. The children that disrespects their parents. There is gonna be consequences. In our land, there was a death penalty for some of the things that children do to their parents. The stuff that children do to their parents today now, would be a death penalty if we were in our land. This was going on. So we're serious now. And I definitely have parents. Both my parents are still around to this day. I still should be respecting my parents though, to this day. There ain't no age limit to them. Even at the age I am, I still allowed to respect my parents. And I'm 20 years old. I'm still young. But I may be an adult now, but still, this still doesn't change the fact that they're my parents and I should respect. That's definitely a command. And you do not murder them. So for those who aren't, murder and kill are two different things. When you murder somebody, you're taking a person's life for, for no reason. That's murder. So you taking their life away, maybe because of hatred. That's still murder. But if you're taking a person's life in like self-defense, then that's kill. That's not murder. That's self-defense right there. Also, with the revenge your blood, now if we go to Numbers, I think it's 35, I believe, chapter 35, I believe that's the right chapter. There's you and they have and they tell you that you can't kill a person now. You get revenge on a loved one now. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you doing it in this land today. That you have in this land. This land ain't no place of justice. So I wouldn't recommend it in this land. It's too rich. They might kill you now. These officers out here. That's something we can definitely pray about as people. Because by law, if a person murders your relative, you have every right to get revenge for, for, for your relative. Of course, in this place that we're in now, in a place of justice. It's just unfortunate. You likely gonna need to get jail time, or you gonna be murdered. You're gonna be murdered in this land. This is unfortunate. You do not commit adultery. That's a big one right there. Because how do you love a person now if you commit adultery? That is another another one you will be put to death for if you do those. If you do this, I don't see no love in you commit adultery. I see wickedness stuff. That's what I see. You might want a person a person's wife. No, that is normally when you commit adultery, that is death penalty. Now that's something David did do. If you know the story, though, he did commit adultery and he murdered. Normally, that would normally Most High would have put a person to death for that. And that was mercy that Most High didn't kill David for the act. For those who know the story, and most people know. But it doesn't mean there wasn't consequences. He still was punished. Even though it wasn't the death penalty, he still was punished for those sins he committed. This, what we need to know is it's going to be consequences for how we do one another in breaking any of Yah's laws. There is going to be consequences. It may not be death right away all the time. And the consequences may not come right away when you're doing that wicked act. But when it does, that's when you should know that's when that's gonna be because of what you have done. Let's see. We go to Micah 6 now. This is definitely an important one for Israel that we for Israel that we need to that we really need to take to heart. So we do Micah 6 in verse 8. It says, He has declared to you, O man, what is good. And what does Yah require of you but to do right and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your Elohim. So hallelujah. Let's see if I read. Let's see. The KJV version, because I do have that version too. Let's see. Micah 6 and 8 in the KJV version, it says, He has showed thee, O man, what is good. And what do it says the LORD here now. But what do Yah require of thee? But to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly without Elohim. It says God here. He is saying love and mercy. That's the thing. We need to learn how to have mercy on one another. Because how would we feel if the Most High Yah, if the Most High Yah didn't have the mercy He had on us, would we still be here to this day? We have to understand that as a people. We really need to learn how to treat one another. Mainly our brothers and sisters who were talking. That don't mean we mistreat the other nation. That's not what this means. Mainly I'm talking about my own people. Let's see. What scriptures do we have? There's more out there now. Let's go to Proverbs 16 and 7. So Proverbs 16 and verse 7. And it reads, when a man's ways please Yah, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Hallelujah. This is going back to it's going back to doing what keeping the Most High Yah's law. So if we're keeping Yah's laws, our enemies, He's gonna make our enemies be at peace with us now. In our ways pleases He is now. Can we say that our ways is pleasing Yah in this today's society? I'm afraid not. I'm afraid I can't say that now. I really don't know that. To be honest, though, if I can say that it's pleasing. I mean, we don't really don't know for sure where we're at now. I mean, not let me not say where we're at, but I mean we know where we're at. We know what we do know is we know if we're really serious about this way of life. Though. If we're really serious about keeping the Most High Yah's law, we do know that. Now, do we know if our way pleases Yah? Mm, I don't think so. Not I don't think so. I would probably say more than likely is not. It does not please Yah. But what is going to please Yah? Let's go to that. Let's go to Second Chronicles 7 and 14. So if we go, and once again, if we go to Second Chronicles 7 and 14, it says, "In my people upon whom my name is called shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their evil way, Then I shall hear from the heavens and forgive their sin and heal their land. Now you notice the order of this thing. Where do we need to start? Humbling ourselves. We ain't even got to that part now. To be honest, the majority of us have not gotten to the humbling ourselves. That's the first thing now. You gotta have humility now to be considered righteous. And then the next thing is saying to pray. As prayer is an important part. If we don't have no humility, then our prayer is going to be considered an abomination. And what's the point of praying? It's going to be an abomination now, if we don't have that humility. And how do we humble ourselves? So that is by how we treat each other, for one thing. Now. But also being willing to being open to learning more now, and being willing to change now when Yah gives us something, you know, it shows us the way that we're doing is not right. And then if we're changing it, if we change it, then we can. That's how we can help ourselves. And Yah shows us the way that we're going is not right. Now we stay in that place, and we that's not humility. That's now it's become doing what is right in our own minds. That's what that is. And and if you're not willing to listen, you're not willing to listen to what others have to say, and you thinking you know everything, nobody can tell you nothing, then you can't. That's not considered home. That's pride and arrogance. Yeah, hates it. And prayer. When we pray, now that is very important. We should be. We definitely should be praying to the Most High. Yeah, prayer is definitely important. Who we pray to, who we're praying to, we should be praying to the Most High. Yeah, not another mighty one. No. Which should be JC, any of the mighty one in it. Because people may not think JC is a mighty one, but it is. Those who actually have understanding. Those who 'cause my thing of this, either they don't have no understanding of that, or they want to continue to believe in a lie. That would be a great day when when he wipes the idols out from them. I think that's it. Kari, I believe, was 13, I believe, where it's said. I believe that's where it is. So I don't know if that's the exact word stuff, but I'm just trying. That's just what I'm trying. I'm trying to quote it the best way I can. But yeah, prayer is definitely an important thing. And what we pray for is important too. Very important. Not praying to another mighty one. No. Or with me, what a prayer is, I do not believe that a person should be praying to be rich. No, I don't believe that for a moment. That you should be praying for is to get better, to be a better person. You can also pray. Now it's okay to pray for if it's some for a person, the healing of their body. That's okay to do that, or just praying for that person that most of y'all continue to be with them. Then prayer is a serious thing. You gotta be careful what we're praying for. What we're praying for is important. And then we got and seek my face. Now we're seeking the most high. Yeah, that's very important though. How many of us are doing it? That's a good question. Eh? So so when we do these things, until we do these things, God is not gonna deal with us the way we want Him to deal. And then there's also another thing: is seek my face, and then what's another? The next thing, and turn from their evil ways. So the things that we know we need to turn from. That's what we need to turn from any of our evil ways that we have. We need to turn from. And then it says he he shall hear from the heavens and forgive their sin and heal their land. Then that's when we get to these things. When we do all these things right here, again, just praying alone, that is not enough. That's not pleasing. That's not enough to for the Most High God to deal with. Think we can just pray. How the New Testament say we can or how the Christians can say we continue to pray them. As many times we want to, but then we keep getting in the midst of sin. And God's just supposed to forgive us. That is foolish now. That's the thing that way. So we have to do all these things right here. We missed one of these things. Yeah, it's not gonna hear. He's not gonna deal with us the way he wants. That's when man's way is gonna please you. So let's see. I think that'll be about it for this video. I think that'll be just about it on today. And anybody can ask any questions concerning the Torah. Now, although I may not be able to, certain questions I may not be able to answer. Those that can answer, I will. I'm definitely going to be willing to answer. So, hope everybody had a good time listening to this. And I say shalom.